Okay, so here we are today, Monday, and I am planning to get an early start today from Fenton, Missouri, home of Joyce Meyer. For those of you who don't know who she is a television preacher who I may or may not agree with, but I watch regularly because I need to get a little, spiritual enlightenment out there. And it's one of my sources. She's on usually 7 o'clock in the morning. Oddly, I haven't seen her since I've been on my trip. But c'est la vie. I'm in her area. Who knows? Maybe I'll run into her at the store. I don't think so. But you never know. You know what will happen. I stayed last night at the Pear Tree Inn in remember, I'm saying Missouri, so I am finally out of Chicago. I'm not out of Chicago, out of Illinois. Illinois was a lovely state, and it had lovely people, so don't get me wrong, but man, I never thought I'd be there 4 days, so I've got to really kind of keep check on myself. And, excuse me, I did not get done what I wanted to get done. I missed several spots, but I missed them for a good reason, which I'll talk about in a second. There's a scripture about where Martha and Mary, Jesus was visiting them, and Martha was very busy cleaning and getting ready because there's going to be company coming to see Jesus and hear him talk and everything. And meanwhile, Mary was sitting at Jesus' feet. Mary, a friend, not his mother. And Martha said to Jesus, "Will you please tell her to help me, man? I got a lot of stuff to do. We got people coming." And Jesus said, "Martha, Martha, Mary has chosen the better part." And that's what I did yesterday, because whereas I wanted to be out there on the road and getting about all my stuff, I, of course, first of all, decided to go to church. And there was a Unity Church right local. And when I went there, it was a real Unity Church. It was a Unity Church where you didn't go in and go, where exactly am I? You knew you were in a Unity Church. It was amazing singing the songs. It was very, very healing for me. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy I made that decision. That's one of those things I call being, dragged kicking and screaming to your good. And I went, and it was good, and I enjoyed it, and I met some lovely people. Their licensed teacher, Cindy, was one of them, and I met Deb and Chris, and who are very active members of the church, and the bookstore manager. And I actually attended a little Unity class. I went early and I attended a Unity class, and I gifted the church with a couple of books and passed out cards. So it was a very very good morning. I'm so glad I did that. And then I wanted to get some breakfast because the hotel I stayed at had it, but you had to buy it. And as you recall from yesterday, I did not eat dinner there because they were not real vegetarian friendly. So I went to this place called Charlie Parker's Diner, and I had a little bit of trouble finding it. And when I found it, I don't know if you know what a Quonset hut is, but it's a building that's kind of shaped. It's an arch like that, and they're like military surplus or something, and it's made out of metal. It was like a great big Quonset hut, and it actually had an addition put on it out the back, which was a part of it also. But I thought, go to this place. It was kind of like peeling, and but I decided I'm going in there. It said it was a wonderful place for breakfast, and holy cow, when I got in the door, there was a line. And I'm thinking, oh Lord, maybe I need to move on. And I'm this close, and the line was moving along okay. And finally, the lady came up to me and she said, "Just one?" And I said, "Yeah." She says, "You want a table or do you want a table or a booth?" No, counter. And I said, "Well, whichever is available first." And the lady behind me said, "Oh, if you're a single, I'm a single, and we could do this together." you know, I would laugh. You don't mind sitting with me? I said, no, I don't mind sitting with you. I mean, isn't part of my journey about meeting new people? So we shared a table, and her name is Rose. She's 85 years old. She had this kind of reddish hair and a little jacket on, and she had a cane, but she explained that she had the cane because she had broken her ankle and she was getting over it. And so we sat down, and they also are not real veggie friendly. So I ordered a pancake, and it was one of those, I don't think I posted the picture last night. I don't know if I didn't see it on my, whatever. It was this one of these pancakes, you know. And I said, do you have anything smaller before I ordered it? And she said no. So I said, okay, I'll have it. And so I had that, and she made her order, and the lady came around and poured the coffee, and would you believe that as soon as the coffee was poured, she said, so what do you think about that flag thing? And I thought, oh, dear God, be with me as I handle this conversation. And I said, well, you know, they're trying to be heard. I guess that's what I can say. And she said, but it's about the flag. And I said, no, it's not about the flag. It's about all Americans being treated as Americans. And so the conversation never got dicey, although she did question my thoughts. I think I got them across that, and we came out in the end agreeing that not everybody sees everything the same, but it's real important to talk about it. You know, that we should be able to have conversations without arguments. And we talked about movies, and we talked about our families, and we talked about stuff like that. And it was really fun. And she must have been okay at the end because she bought my breakfast. Of course, she said, I would like to buy your breakfast. You know, you just pay the tip. And I said, okay. And I considered her breakfast and my breakfast, and the tip would probably be about $3. Well, my pancakes were $2.89. So, but it doesn't matter. And, you know, we had a good conversation. I would have paid the $3 plus tip for the pancakes and coffee anyway. And I went off on my way. And I went to the Last Giant. I'm sorry, I'm over my giant addiction. But this morning when I leave, my first stop is going to be at the Black Madonna. Now, I don't know if I'm going to feel compelled to leave a rock there because there's just so many rocks available. So I'm thinking that when I get to my friend Lynn's in Grove, Oklahoma, maybe we're going to have to find Michael's and get some of that Mod Podge and some magazines and make some rocks. Josie, if you're still with me here, if you could ask your mom if she would send me the master copies of the Grandview GVC, you know, roaming rock thingies we put at the bottom. I mean, because it's really hard. You know, you want to leave a rock and you think, wow, every place I leave one, they know about Grandview. So that's in the hopper. But I'd still have to have Lynn decide that was a good thing to do and to go find me some rocks. But Lynn, if you got rocks, please get them because I think I'm going to need them by the time I get there. Got a lot of road and fun ahead. So I have my list made out today, but we're going to talk about yesterday's list and the things I did. Well, of course, I went, like I say, to the Last Giant, and there was nobody to help me with the picture. So I had to do it myself. And as I said, I missed a lot of things yesterday because I had spent the time in church, and which is not a waste of time. It was, you have no idea how I needed that unity connection. And then my breakfast with Rose, which was kind of like a sacred appointment. So I got the Giant, and I missed the Great Western Depot, which is where Lincoln made a big speech, and I missed the Route 66 twin drive-in and the rail splitter. Well, the rail splitter, I wouldn't go in there because it was like in their state fair grounds, and I just didn't want to have to go in, and that place, there were a lot of people there. There must have been something going on, so I decided I wouldn't do that one. And I realized too late I had mixed Doc's soda fountain, which I wanted to go to the soda fountain, okay? I was like, I'm not eating enough crap on the road. So I missed a piece of concrete highway, but I see so much highway on the side of the road, and as you know, if you're following my pictures, I have a piece of the highway. I don't think anybody cares, but you know, it makes you wonder, they sell so many things. How come nobody's selling this car on the side of the road, you know? I'd pay $1 for it probably. And maybe I should move out here and make a great living selling a piece of Route 66 for people to take home. Just little pieces, you know, we want it to last a long time. I was able to see Henry's Rabbit Ranch. Well, you want to talk about bizarre? It was closed, and so I was thinking about skipping it because it was closed because it was Sunday, and I said, no, I'm going to go see Henry's Rabbit Ranch. And when I went, it's like bizarre. It didn't matter that it wasn't open, but it was interesting. If you looked at the pictures, they've got 4 rabbits, which by rabbits, that's Volkswagen rabbits, pointed up like that Cadillac thing that they have out west. And it was just really weird. And when I came out of there, I saw a sign for a Mexican restaurant. And I said, now, I have not eaten. You know, I'd had my breakfast early, and then I did, you know, well, my breakfast was late. It was like lunch, and it took so long and everything. And a few of the things that I saw, I had to drive way out of my way. So note to you, if you ever decide to do this trip, consider the time you spend when you have to drive way out of your way to find something. That's okay. And I also had to fight to stay on Historic 66 because it kept directing me back to 55. So I could be driving down the highway, looking at 66 over there, while I was on 55 and couldn't get off. All right, so what else did I see? I saw the sign for Arts Motel, which is another one of the little things. I actually had to backtrack to go see that. And what was I going to say? Oh, and I saw that they apparently had a barbecue, and you could see it was abandoned. I've got those pictures online. So it's kind of sad when you think about the dreams people have. But if the restoration, if people show interest in the history and value of Historic 66, who knows, maybe some of those signs will light up again, and people will be able to do these things. So I got the Arts Motel sign, and then that was actually right after I went to Our Lady of the Highways. I figured Our Lady of the Highways, that was a good place to stop and a great place to leave a rock. Now, maybe nobody's going to pick up the rock because they think, oh, this is like a little shrine. I'm not gonna take it, even though the sign at the bottom says to. But there were quarters. Apparently people left quarters there's a family that maintains the statue. So maybe the quarters are for restoration of the statues. I left the rock. We'll see if anybody takes it. But if they don't, think of all the people that will be blessed just seeing it there at Our Lady of the Highways. Also, I could take all the blessings I could use for safety and a good journey, and my car being good and everything. So that was a very good stop. And I went to the Skyview drive-in, so I might have missed the Route 66 drive-in, but I got the Skyview one. That, unfortunately, was like 10 miles this way and 10 miles that way. So that was kind of, well, it was a stop, and I made the stop, and I'd already missed so many that I didn't want to miss any more. And I saw the Soulsby Shell Station, and that was fun because there was so many items of memorabilia in there. It says, yes, we're open on the door. and you walk in, but nobody's there. But there is tons of memorabilia, and it brought back so many memories from a different and a simpler time that I hope we can bring the best parts back over time. You know, those of us who were there at the time, which means born between the 40s and the 60s, when the Route 66 was really, really rocking, we have kind of an opportunity to help younger people remember. You know, we are older, but we have a great potential for change, for good, because we know that as many people think is like, that's life, that's the way it is. No, there is a different way, and I pray that we can help to restore the good parts of that. I missed the Pink Elephant Antique Mall, which I heard had things out there, but it was already getting late, and so then I saw the sign for a Mexican restaurant, and I said, you know, I have not eaten out much, you know, a little breakfast here, a little breakfast there, but I'm going to go get me some Mexican food. And I said, maybe I will even get me a margarita while I'm there, you know, have a cup of coffee after, so I make sure there's no effects at all of a margarita by the time I am ready to go back on the road. So I found the restaurant, and one side was so noisy, and so I asked the host if he would set me on the quiet side, which he did. Now, here's a very important point when you're traveling. This was going, and it was like 4:30, and all I had really eaten that day, yesterday, was a half of that humongo pancake. Well, first of all, pancakes and syrup are really not good for blood sugar and stuff. There's nothing wrong with my blood sugar, but having that alone on your stomach and driving for, you know, hours, you know, so it had been 5 or 6 hours. When I got out of the car, I wanted to bring my Missouri map in with me because I was determined I was going to be in Missouri, you know, that night. And so I was fishing through the car, and I couldn't find it, and the car was getting hot, and it was hot out, and I realized how hungry I was. I really wasn't hungry till I started to think about the Mexican restaurant. I said, maybe enchiladas, maybe it's going to be the day. And what happened was, it's like all of a sudden I got real sweaty and shaky, and I said, I am over hungry. You know, you can't let yourself get over hungry. So, and that was a good reminder to me. So I I will make sure today I've got some of my crackers, and I have a banana. They have breakfast here. It was really nice breakfast. And I had oatmeal and a banana, and they got yogurt out there and stuff. So it was very good. So anyway, once I ate, I was good to go. It was like I had just gotten all too hungry. Don't let that that happen to yourself. And the funny thing is, it didn't kick in until I started thinking about the food. So I was so preoccupied with other things. I'm very sad that I missed the world's largest ketchup bottle. You know, that I really wanted to see, but by the time I got to the Mexican restaurant, it was too late. One of the things, of course, it was sad to wake up this morning and hear about the tragedy in Las Vegas. You know, when there's so many changes we need to make, and it made me again ache even more for the span of time when things were better and people liked each other more and were more courteous. Not that we didn't have problems, but they certainly hadn't exacerbated to the point that we are living in now. I was happy to go online and find out that Tracy and Adam are fine. They live in Las Vegas, and you know, they like to go to concerts and things, so there would have been every possibility they would have been there. And I thought about church and change and what we're looking for and what happens and why. We got to change. You know, there's changes that have to be made. We have to start realizing that we are one. And, you know, I thought about all the huge churches, since I'm here in Fenton, Missouri, home of Joyce Meyer, that there's so many big churches. And you say, well, if there's so many big churches, why are we experiencing these things, you know? But I don't mean to offend anybody. And if I do, please forgive me. Let's just consider the possibility of some of the messages that churches of all faiths give. And that is that God is going to come in and fix it. And, you know, I believe that Jesus came and taught us that it is not God that needs to come in and fix it. That Jesus came and taught us how to fix ourselves. And so what we experienced in Las Vegas last night was a symptom of the human condition that needs to be healed. And it's like they say, you can't put Band-Aids on bullet holes. And one of the ways I'm trying to be a part of change is to meet people out there and love people, and whether I agree with them politically or not, I wind up in a conversation. I'm going like, oh, how did I get here? So I invite you to, one by one, love people and be out there, and let's be agents of positive change in the world. It can happen. So I encourage you to do that. Sadly, today is the 4-month anniversary of Sammy's passing, and it hasn't gotten easier yet. But I am taking a deep breath and being very grateful for the time that that we did have together. So, and thanks to Facebook video chat, I can chat with Tristan you know, a couple of times a week, and so Nana does stay in touch with her boy. I ended my night last night in Missouri, and I went to you know what? Yeah, I'm in Fenton now, but I went through Eureka, and there is a place called Ted Dewey's. You know what? my handwriting is so bad, but it is a frozen custard stand. So it was another first. I'd never had frozen custard before. And, oh yeah, I'm going to find this now. And I go driving along, and holy baloney, there were more people there. I thought I was back in normal, for God's sake. And I thought I was never going to get waited on. But the line actually moved quite well. And I got something called a Madeline, I think. It was a frozen custard with pecans and butterscotch. How can that be bad? So I ate half of it. It was too big to eat the whole thing, and it was only $3.60. And but I'm remembering I'm sitting on my tush all day driving, and I don't want my tush to get any unnecessarily more expensive than it currently is. But while I was there, and of course I wanted to have somebody take my picture, I met Susie and Charlie, a delightful couple. And I'll be going through their town in a little while. I'll wave to the universe as I drive by. But they were wonderful, and we had a great chat. And it was from there they told me to find, you know, a motel. And now, so anyway, so I wound up at the Pear Tree Inn in Fenton. And I really like it. It is probably one of the better places. It's a Drury hotel, and oh my gosh, I was stunned when I got ready to take my shower today. And you know, we've talked about those little minis that we're tempted to take. You know, another reason that I don't like the minis is because first, we're tempted to take them when we don't really need them. But secondly, the effect on the environment of all those damn plastic bottles floating around out there. So when I went into the shower, I grabbed my shampoo and I threw back the curtain and I looked up, and oh my stars, you'll see a picture of it tomorrow on the internet. It was a attached to the wall, they have little dispensers for shampoo and conditioner and body wash. Does it get any better than that? I am so happy. They also have one of those really neat little, you turn the button and you get a heat lamp, because, you know, I hate getting out of a shower and you're wet and the fan's running and you're cold already. And that was another thing I wanted to say. Why do they put a fan in the bathroom attached to the light? You don't have a choice. I mean, I know there's times that a fan is a very, very helpful for both white noise effects and for your nose sometimes, because bathrooms can get smelly. But I hate it when they're attached. You have to have both the fan and the light. I mean, I've taken a lot of showers on the road here in relative darkness because I don't want to turn the light on, because if the light goes on, the fan goes on. When I turn that shower off, I'm going to be cold. And that's what it's all about. Well, they had, not only did they have the little heater thing in the bathroom, but they also had a light that wasn't attached to a fan. You could put the fan in if you wanted, but the light and the fan were not attached. So yay, Drury Hotels, yay, Pear Tree Inn. This was a wonderful night. And so today I'm going to get booking because I've talked too long again. And I try to shorten it up, but I don't want to not share any of my fun details with you. So wishing you a blessed day. I'll see you tomorrow morning, and we'll see what happens. Will I leave a stone at the Black Madonna, or will there be another place that compels me? We'll have to tune in tomorrow. I can make this into a serial. God bless you, and may God keep us safe and happy today and every day. See you tomorrow.